So looking at your pool, you'd think there's phosphates in the water, but there's really not. And that's why it's not so, it would be like overgrown with algae and everything. So amazingly, the tadpoles that are in there kept a perfect eco-cycle for you, so they saved you.
Okay.
But yeah, so you see it, if you look down through that, if you look down through the top, so I'm at 0, because it would be blue like that if it was at 200, or, see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So this is the only test you do like that where you look down. All right. When you're done, you rinse this out, and then put this. You can basically put this back inside like this after it's rinsed out, and you can put it back in a bottle. It's up to you how you want to do that. You want these tests, and you want this stuff in a cool spot. Okay. What I like to do with this is baking soda. Get yourself a 5-gallon lid, 5-gallon bucket with a lid. Pour it in that. This is calcium chloride. We're not going to use it right now, but you'll need it eventually. So right now, we're pretty much going to use the pool chlorine, the muriatic acid, and then we might get into some alkalinity increaser. We're not going to use any calcium until we get all the bacteria out of the water and make sure the water is perfectly clean. Because if we put calcium in the water now, it's going to impregnate any dirt into the gel coat, and it's going to take years to get it out. So we don't want to do that. So the next thing we want to check after that, which we said that's good, now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to check the pH of the water. Okay. I generally like to test alkalinity first, so I guess we could just do that. So to test our alkalinity, it's green. So we're going to go green, and we're going to go red, and then eventually we'll do calcium hardness. But we're never testing cyanuric acid or sodium chloride. And the only time we're ever going to test chlorine is when we want to, at some point, we'll talk about this later, where we're going to check to see how much chlorine's in the water. And then we'll check again in the morning. That's how we kind of test to see like what the bacteria level is. So let me just throw it in here. So when we want to do alkalinity, it's 25 milliliters, whatever it is, milliliters. So we just go up to the 25. And then I'm good at that point. And then we're going to go to our green bottles, and it tells you on here how to do this. So I take 2 drops, and I put in here. And then this one here, you swirl like this. And then we take 5 drops of number 8. Water's going to turn green. 5 drops. Okay. And then to determine how much alkalinity we have, we put 1 drop at a time of number 9. This is worth 10 parts per million. Okay. So I'm going to be at, there's 10. It's going to turn it like a reddish color once it reaches the alkalinity level. It's going to tell us where we're at. So that's 20, 30, 40, 50. It still isn't red yet. Not red all the way through. That's 50. Looks like it might be right at 60. So 60 parts per million on the alkalinity. So we're okay, but we could add some sodium bicarbonate, and so I'll show you that. And whenever we're adding powders, we get a 5-gallon bucket. We measure the powder in a cup, like that plastic measuring cup. And we're just going to turn ounces into, ounces. Powder ounces are going to be very equal to the other. And so what we're going to end up doing is we'll put in, I'll show you how to determine that. But first I'm going to show you what the pH is. So we know that alkalinity is at 60. So the pH is probably a little bit higher. So when I measure pH, again, it tells me here what to do. So we're going to go up to the 44 millimeter. So right there to that line. And then basically what we do is we add 5 drops of the number 4. And then this one on pH, cap it and invert it. Then your pH is super high. So it's way above 8, okay? So we're gonna have to add some uric acid to this. So to determine, just like the green, the red has acid demand test. And it's going to tell us, then it's going to, there's a chart and it's going to show us how to do this. So we had 1 drop, and 7.4 to 7.8 is good because our body's at 7.369, so maintain alkaline blood and maintain alkaline water is a cancer-free body, and that's what we want. We don't want to have cancer for using a swimming pool. But most people do because they don't understand this whole thing. So pH is pretty far off. So when you're going swimming in your friend's pool, because they're probably not on our product, it's slowly killing you and causing issues, which isn't good, is it? You know anything about that. No one taught you that, did they? How about an alkaline body? Did I teach you about alkaline body? So that means stay away from like the acid foods, the pizza sauce, all the stuff you love, sugar, caffeine, coffee. Too much of all that stuff isn't good for us. Being in bad water is not good for us. Your pH is through the roof. That's 3. You might have to add about a half. Let's see. I'm going to say you're going to probably need to add at least a quart of muriatic acid. Oh, there we go. Now we drop down. So to me that looks like it's about 7.4. What you say? So we're going to base it on 4. And those are all the tests we're going to do right now. So you really don't have to remeasure the phosphates. We're going to tell you how much of this stuff to add. And then tonight you can add the chlorine and the muriatic acid. So muriatic acid you could add any time of the day because it doesn't have anything to do with holding it. It has to do with the power of hydrogen. Okay? Mm-hmm. Power of hydrogen and oxygen is what that is. Okay, so all that stuff's in there. And then we'll get a pen here and we'll show you like what the ranges should be and then what stuff to not worry about.
Right here.
Okay, so so we're really not going to worry about free chlorine, combined chlorine. We're never going to put bromine in the water because we don't want to die. And then, so our pH 7.4 to 7.8 is good. Calcium hardness, so we don't want to be above 100. So we will only add when we're down to like 90 or 80. We're only going to try to put enough in to be at 100. Right now, we're not going to do anything with calcium hardness. Alkalinity, we were at 60, so you're technically okay on the alkalinity. And then, again, you could run it up to 180 because alkaline water is going to be, better for us. Cyanuric acid, we don't mess with that. Temperature, dissolved solids, we're not going to really worry about that so much. So I'm going to mark the page for you. So we know right now that we meet the spec and the other stuff. We know the pH is through the roof. So we need to lower the pH. So all the tables are back here, which tell you what to do. Just be careful how much you read in here because it's designed to sell chemicals. So just, if you follow these instructions, you'll be way better off. You're going to spend a lot less money on chemicals and it's going to be healthier for you and your family. And the awesome part is in the future, we're going to be taking the biofilm out of our bodies right here. And so it should make you healthier. Your immune system should get dramatically stronger. Decreased pH using muriatic acid. We had 4 drops and we got about, I think it was 10,000 gallons, so that's 1.15 quarts. So we just need to verify your gallons, and then we know we have 4 drops. So I'm just going to leave this here for you, and then we can confirm the gallons and everything. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So when it says 1.15 quarts, you just take 32 times 1.15, right? And then if you got that, if we say, hey, it's 12,000, so you'd have to come in and add in 3.67 times 2, and then if it was 100 gallons, you know how to do that stuff. Easy enough? Mm-hmm. So right now, pH, we're going to add muriatic acid tonight. You could go ahead and just put a half gallon of chlorine in tonight after the sunset, and then that's going to be it. And then I would say get the robot in tomorrow, retest the pH. If the pH needs to be adjusted again after the robot's running, like tomorrow night, test the pH, and then you can add more chlorine tomorrow night. Now, if you're worried about and you can actually use the pool once the water looks clear, okay? Mm-hmm. you don't really have to worry about much else right now. Even the state it's in right now, it's way cleaner than Lake Erie or any river or stuff like that, you know. And the nice part is it doesn't have chlorine and a bunch of toxic chemicals in it, so that's good for you guys. Other than that, that's really all that you have to do right now. So
Okay, so we, I mean, I know you said it here, but